Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy Holistic Transformation Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Beverly. Those of us in the Northern Hemisphere are facing winter. I know I have some of you in the Southern Hemisphere, especially Australia and South America and Africa. And you're not facing winter. But I thought we'd do a talk today about the immune system and what you can do to stay healthy as the weather gets cold and we have to move along. So as usual, I have slides. So let me just go into full screen mode. Okay, then we need to do it in presentation mode so it's easier for you to see. Not download, present. There we go. Okay, so hopefully you're now in presentation mode. Sometimes when I do this, people are stuck on the old slide, so hopefully this is full screen. So we're going to talk about holistic immune resilience, strengthening the body and spirit for the winter months. So we'll talk about the immune resilience and how to navigate the energetic shifts this December. And then in January, we'll talk about January and February later on. So we'll do why immune support is spiritual support. So doing one is doing both. We'll talk about the energetics of winter in terms of traditional Chinese medicine as well as medical astrology. We'll talk about our immune system and our nervous system connection. And we've had a lot of nervous system stuff. I've talked about that the past couple of weeks. Then we'll talk about some holistic tools for immune and energy alignment. And then I'll close with changes coming. And it was going to come in January, but the website's almost done. I have a couple more things. So those changes are going to come in mid-December. So those are coming very, very soon. Okay, so let's talk about resilience for your health. So immune support is spiritual support. So we begin by expanding how we can view immunity, not just as a physical shield, but as a reflection of our energetic alignment. So we're talking about your light body, your meditations, and everything you do spiritually, and how when you get sick, it's a reflection of what's going on or not going on in that arena. So a weakened immune system often mirrors our spiritual depletion, unprocessed emotions, and a lack of grounding. And in the winter, when it's freezing cold outside, it may be difficult to go barefoot in the grass. And that's why you may need a grounding mat, or you may need some plants in your living space, whether it's a house or a trailer or whatever you live in. It could be an apartment, something. So winter invites us inward. It's the season of reflection, rest, and energetic consolidation. So we don't want to waste our energy because we need so much of it just to stay warm in the winter. So ignoring all of this leads to burnout, inflammation, and vulnerability. Inflammation is a silent killer. People hear the word and you think, oh, I have a scrape or I hurt myself, and so it got all swollen and red. But you can have inflammation in the body and there's no external symptoms. It could be an irritation from a food you ate you don't know is irritating your bowels or your stomach. It could be inflammation because the lymph didn't move, and so you have some fluid retention or other issues going on within the body. So this is a big one, and it leads to all kinds of other diseases. Disease is a construct of Western medicine. They don't exist in Chinese medicine, but disease does. And disease is that spiritual depletion leading to burnout, inflammation, and other vulnerabilities. So for Chinese medicine, TCM, and medical astrology, the winter is ruled by the water element. It's associated with the kidneys as the yin organ and the adrenal system. So the adrenal glands sit on top of the kidneys. So they're closely related. And some of the issues in TCM where we talk about the kidneys, especially kidney yang, it's the adrenals that we're talking about. And then you have something called prenatal Jing, postnatal Jing, ancestral Jing. So it's another kind of energy. And Jing, postnatal Jing is the air we breathe, the food we eat. Prenatal Jing and ancestral Jing we bring in with us. So that's why Chinese say don't burn a candle at both ends, because you can just deplete your life, because you can't replace some Jing. Your prenatal Jing, your ancestral Jing cannot be replaced when you use it up. So fear is associated with the kidneys, and it's unresolved trauma and stress. And this depletes all of these systems. And how much fear is there in the world? I mean, if you're still crazy enough to be listening to the news, they purposely put you in a state of fear and worry and, oh no, what will happen? And oh, the finances are going to explode and there's going to be these crazy people from aliens, or this is going to happen. And what about, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to get bumped off of YouTube. But you get the idea of what's going on out there. And there's so many people, oh, I channeled this person and they said blah, blah, blah. I don't listen to that kind of stuff. It's all fear-based. It's all fear-based, and you can hear the fear. And guess what? These fears are great as clickbait. That's why they do it. Oh, look at how many followers I got. Yeah, it's all based on what's going to happen. It's all based on trauma. I don't do that. I'm telling you, here's the energy, and I give you holistic health ways to deal with it. Stress, use I always have it here. Rescue remedy. Use lavender. Meditate. 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 I have a grounding mat because in Arizona, it it's not too cold to go out in the winter. I like winter here. It's very nice. But it's too hot in the summer. You can literally cook eggs on the sidewalk. So I have a grounding mat rather than going outside. But I have incredible views out my windows of green trees, green. I have a beautiful rose bush, all kinds of wonderful things to look at my windows. So, what are you doing to manage your fear? Now, some fears and some events may cause trauma. If something happened and it was a relative or a friend or someone you followed, this can lead to trauma and stress. All of this goes together. And are you dealing with it? How do you deal with it? Okay, so in medical astrology, Pisces and Capricorn energies are affecting us this month, and we need balance and we need discipline. So Capricorn brings us balance and discipline, and Pisces surrender, and we have Neptune in Pisces. Guess what Neptune does? It's a water planet. It washes stuff away. It's the planet of delusion and illusion, but it's in its home of Pisces. So in Pisces, Saturn is with it, almost conjunct at this point, because Saturn is no longer retrograde. Neptune's still retrograde for a little bit longer. So Saturn is going to catch up to Neptune, and that's about structures, your daily routine, what you do. And when that hits this water planet of Neptune and Pisces, it's going to say, these structures don't work, and they're just going to wash away. That's what's happening. And we're going to have lots more of that, especially as they move into Aries, a fire sign. So in Pisces, it's washing things away. In Aries, we're going to have the energy to rebuild. We can't continue the way we are. And that includes our bodies. Our bodies are transforming and changing. So in this month, we need to balance and discipline and surrender. Change is coming. I know some people hate change. They like things the way they are. Things can't stay the way they are. I think everybody now knows that. I don't care what side of the fence you like to play on. We can't continue the way we are. We have to change. And change comes with hardship, comes with compromise, comes with changes in values. It's hard what we're about to go through. I'm not going to paint a pretty picture. So with the sun moving into Capricorn this month, sun, the sun's moving into Capricorn. Sorry, I was thinking Saturn, a little dyslexia there. Saturn's not going to Capricorn, but the sun is. My birthday is Capricorn, so I should know that. So it's moving into Capricorn this month, and the Gemini full moon just passed. We talked about that last week, and it affected our nervous system. And some of us, if you listen to my podcast, I talk about how I was shaking my hand. It would wake me up in the middle of the night, and my hands and feet and everything would be vibrating so fast. And we talked about how to reset the nervous system. So we're recalibrating. So this is a great time to look at your immune system and reset it if necessary. Because if you don't, you're going to get sick. Okay, I'm sorry. If you're susceptible to colds and flu, you're going to get sick. If you're susceptible to other things and your nervous system is still not recalibrated, that can lead to stomach issues, digestive issues. It can lead to heart rhythmic issues. So it just depends on what month you were born in as to which organ is primarily affected and which house this is all taking place and which sign for you. Where is your sun? Where's your moon? What's your ascendant? So the immune system and nervous system connection is related to the Schumann resonance, and it's been going crazy, big surges in November. It's not so bad now, but November was pretty rough, especially near the end. And then it depends on your transits between the planets. So in Hellenistic whole house astrology, we tend to look at the inner planets, which include Jupiter and Saturn. It ends with Saturn because beyond that, you need a telescope. So they thought the solar system ended. So we tend not to look at Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto unless they're transiting your house, your ascendant house, your moon house, your sun house, or they have a relationship with your other planets, like a square or a trine. Then we will look at them, especially in certain houses, which affect the health. So for some of you, Neptune may be affecting you, even though it's Jupiter in Hellenistic astrology that rules Pisces. But Jupiter is in a grand water trine. So Jupiter's exalted in Cancer, water. It's ruled by, it rules rather, Pisces. Pisces has Neptune and Saturn in it. So there's a trine going on with those big planets. And then, of course, Jupiter also rules Sagittarius, which is a fire sign. But it's in a grand trine with the other water sign, which is a Scorpio. And if you have anything in Scorpio now, I have I have 3 planets in Scorpio, including Jupiter and Venus, which are trining Jupiter in my ascendant. So what's going on in your chart? And if you attended my summit last September, I talked about how to do your own chart. I may have to create another podcast or something that is free so people that didn't attend that summit has how to do your own chart for free. There's all kinds of places on the internet that will just run your chart. You do need to know your birth time in order to find out your ascendant, which is crucial. It's the only way to know your houses. and that changes the entire reading. So get a rectification done to find out the time if you don't have it, or get hold of your birth certificate, which is sometimes wrong by a little bit. They might round it up, or they might put the time when they got around to filling out the form rather than the actual time you were born. I didn't know astrology when my daughter was born, but I looked directly at the clock. I know the exact minute she was born. Why did I do that? I don't know. My soul must have known something. Someday I would get into astrology pretty deep. But a lot of people, they don't know when they were born and their family doesn't know. So you can find out by coming up with some important dates and getting an astrologer that specializes in that. I haven't had that kind of training yet, so I don't do rectifications. I just focus on medical astrology. So some of the symptoms you may feel is cold sensitivity. And if you're over 70, this may be big for you because our body forgets how to regulate heat and cold. So you may be cold when everyone's hot, and you may be hot when everyone else is cold. But pay attention to that because you may get colder than you realize. This is why older people have a lot of trouble when their HVAC fails, either when it's really cold or really hot, because their body doesn't adjust very well. You may have brain fog. What's wrong with me? I can't think. What's going on? That's you're in fight or flight mode rather than parasympathetic. So you want to make sure. I talk a lot about resetting your vagus nerve, get you out of fight or flight. That's part of the autonomic nervous system regulation. And you may have increased anxiety or apathy. A lot of people become depressed or they become over anxious. They're like the opposites of the same thing. You hear the news, or you have someone you love has some issue, or you hear about someone else, a friend that has an issue, and you either become anxious that it might affect you, or will they survive, or it may be so overwhelming you become apathetic and depressed, and this causes trauma that you need to go in and deal with. So these are not just seasonal symptoms, they're energetic invitations to realign. So if any of this is going on, I'm going to suggest you do something about it so that you don't get sick. Okay. So here's some tools to deal with all this. So how to support your body and spirit this season, and I've got several pages, they just didn't all fit here. So you can use herbs and oils. So some herbs are astragalus, elderberry, reishi, a mushroom, and tulsi. That's tulsi is an Ayurvedic herb. I like to drink tulsi tea. You can also get elderberry tea. Reishi, you can get capsules. I don't have any reishi tea, but I think you can get reishi as a tea. Astragalus, in medical school, we call them tongue depressors. They're about 4 to 6 inches long, and they're flat, and they kind of look like a tongue depressor. If you know what that looks like, doctors go say that's what a tongue depressor is. So astragalus, I love to make. I buy the raw astragalus. You can buy it online. I break it into maybe 2 or 4 pieces, and then you can take some elderberry and fill up a pot of really clean quality water. If you don't have elderberries, you can use gochitsa or wolfberry. What's the common name? Goji berries. Um, I mostly use the goji berries, not the elderberry. And I make a decoction. So I'll boil it for an hour, and then it makes an incredible sweet tea. And you get the Huang Qi, the astragalus benefit of boosting your energy, tonifying your spleen. Spleen is about worry in Chinese medicine. So it helps you let go of worry and all of that stuff. It's a great way to start your day. Sorry. Great way to start your day with a nice astragalus goji berry tea or an elderberry tea. And when I was in naturopathic medical school, we had to make some kind of a decoction or whatever. One of the things we made was elderberry and honey cough syrup. It was incredible. And you just take a little bit of that, and that cough and that sore throat and that horrible feeling you get when your throat is on fire. It is awesome. Today I just drink elderberry tea because I don't let myself get sick. If I have just the beginning of a sore throat, I go have elderberry tea. Poof, it's gone. Um, and then I drink, like today I had Tulsi tea, because it's very sweet. You don't need to add anything. It's just this really nice sweet tea. So those are some herbs and some easy way to get those in the body. So for essential oils, I have two different sets. One is if you have respiratory or emotional issues. So hold on a second. Sorry, when I talk, I start losing my voice. I need to have some more water. Um, so essential oils that really help with your respiratory system and um, kidneys was fear, and the respiratory system, the lungs, are about grief and sadness. So based on some current events that have happened lately with those weapons that people use. I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole. You know what I'm talking about. The last few months, there's been a lot of horrible things happen. So that can cause some grief or sadness, and that may affect your respiratory system if your lungs are one of your systems that are challenged. So you can use frankincense, bergamot, eucalyptus, and peppermint. Again, eucalyptus and peppermint you can get as teas. Frankincense you can also get as essential oils, essential oil, as incense. I burn frankincense all the time when I eat dinner. Bergamot is a citrus, so it's a nice, refreshing scent. Um, and eucalyptus, I always put eucalyptus on people's chest. You'll need to use a carrier oil with it. You don't want to use it direct. One of the carrier oils you can use is uh, castor oil. And you can put that on your chest and that will just pull things out. So those are ways you can use. You can also just sniff the bottle or you can diffuse them into the room. If you just want to boost your immunity, again, eucalyptus, lemon and tea tree are more for cleaning. And then you can use oregano and clove. Now, some people like to take oregano internally. Never take it internally out of the bottle or with a carrier oil. You will burn yourself. You can now buy oregano encapsulated, and that's what I suggest people do if they want to take it internally. Don't do it any other way. Or what I like to do is I just use dried oregano or fresh oregano on my food when I'm cooking. And it goes with every Italian dish you can think of, but it goes with a lot of other foods. So oregano you can use as a spice as well, or you can diffuse it, but it's very potent. A little goes a long way. Like one drop in a capsule with olive oil is one way to take it, but I don't recommend you make your own capsules unless you really know what you're doing and you're working with someone and they've told you exactly how to do it. Clove, some people put clove in their food. You can soak clove in boiling water and then drink the water. Some people I've seen on the internet, some people say put the clove in your mouth and suck on it. I'm allergic to cloves, so I never use it, but people who use it swear by it. So I would say for boosting your immunity, I use elderberry and eucalyptus and what do you call it? I can see the flower. It's a beautiful pink flower. Starts with an E. I'll think of it. Anyway, there's another flower. Oh, well, I can't think of it right now. It'll come to me. So other things you can do is breath and cold therapy. So there's a therapy called Wim Hof style breathing, and you combine that with some cold showers to boost your immunity, amp up your mitochondria. Your mitochondria are what makes your energy in your body. It's called ATP. It's made in the mitochondria. It's called the Krebs cycle. And when you amp that up, you're making more energy, and you need that, especially if you're over 60, to keep yourself warm. And it helps with mental clarity. So it helps get rid of that brain fog. So it's deep. This is how you do the Wim Hof style breathing. It's deep, powerful inhalations, then relaxed exhalations. So hold for 30 or 40 times, slowly exhale. And you do that 30 to 40 times, but you want to hold it in. So you hold it in, hold, slowly exhale, hold, breathe in really deep and hold, and then slowly exhale and hold. Whatever pace works for you. Some of you may be able to hold your breath for 5 minutes. Some of you are lucky to do 1 minute. Whatever works for you, that's fine. So after the initial hold, a recovery breath is taken and held for about 15 seconds before exhaling. Okay, so it's more than just that 1 second, it's 15 seconds. Then you keep repeating it. Okay, you can also use Epsom salt baths with trace minerals, and Epsom salts are full of trace minerals. So this will remineralize your system, especially with magnesium. Epsom salts are full of magnesium, and most Americans, from what the research I've seen, are magnesium deficient. If you get restless leg syndrome or leg cramps, or you're diabetic, or your legs act up at night, they're twitching, you're probably magnesium deficient. So doing a nice warm foot bath. Now, if you're diabetic, make sure you test the water with your elbow, because a lot of diabetics get neuropathy and you won't feel how hot it is. You can burn yourself. You also want to reduce your EMF exposure. So don't have any kind of television or computers or phones in your bedroom. Okay, take them out. They are affecting your sleep. And if you can, turn off your router and your internet connection at night. Just turn it off. Some people, the router is in the modem, and some people have a separate router and modem. You want to turn them both off. I just unplug it. Just, unplug the whole thing, turn it off, shut down your computer, shut down your phone. You don't have to turn it off, but you don't have to power it off, but you can turn it off. I don't keep my phone in my room. Okay, I keep it in my office. So if someone calls, if there's an emergency, my phone only rings if I know you. If I don't know you, my phone doesn't even ring. And I have a special ringtone for friends and family. So I always know who's calling just by the ringtone. So I don't need to worry about it. Okay, it's just another call. Okay, yeah. Oh, my brother. Oh, I better go check that. So if something happens and it wakes me up, I'll know it's in the other room, which has got a wooden desk with a hutch between me and the wall, and then there's a wall on both sides, and then there's a tonka, and then I've got organon. Where's my organon? I always have organon by my computer. Oh, here he is. So I have in here, I have this great big huge organon, and then right at the head of my bed, I have an organine. And next to my bed, I have by my head, I have another one, so that I don't get affected by this stuff while I'm sleeping. So do what you have to do to reduce your EMF. I've seen some stickers and things you can put on phones. I tried those. I didn't feel any effect of those. So make sure you check that whatever you're buying, because they're real expensive, make sure they're actually working. Some energy practice, you can do Qigong. Qigong, you can do sitting Qigong. So it's not like Tai Chi where you're constantly moving, you need to stand up. Qigong is a standing, now you do move your feet a little bit, but it's considered a standing they call it standing, but you can do it sitting down. And there's several people, if you do a search online for sitting Qigong. So if you can't stand, you can do sitting Qigong, and it will warm you up. And you do breath work. So as you do certain moves, you inhale, and as you do certain other moves, you exhale. So you're doing your breath work and your meditation at the same time. It's wonderful. And yes, there are special Qigong exercises for weight loss. When I took Qigong in school, my teacher said, "Here, I'm going to do one for weight loss." And I said, "Can I record you?" He said, "Yes." I actually have him doing several different exercises for weight management. So there's all kinds of wonderful things you can do with Qigong. And like I said, if you can't do a lot of working, you can't stand, there's sitting Qigong. It's pretty awesome. Cord cutting. If you're listening to me, I assume you know what cords are. I actually don't do cord cutting. I do cord releasing and pullback. When you cut, the energy is still on both sides. But if you pull them out of you and you send them back with love, and the ones you've sent out, you pull back and reintegrate the energy into yourself with love, now you're complete. Now you can put yourself in I like to put myself in a golden egg and say that protects me so that my cords don't leave my body and other cords don't enter my body. So I try to keep that golden egg of protection around me all the time. So if you just cut them, that other person's energy is still there and your energy is still with them, and it's too easy to reconnect those cords. So I just say, push them back with love, pull them back with love, reintegrate, and then protect yourself with golden egg. So this will release draining emotional entanglements. So if you're always exhausted, is someone sucking your energy? And you may have someone in your life that you go, oh my God, every time I'm around them, after about 10 minutes, I'm exhausted. Well, guess what? They're sucking your energy. It's time to make a new friend. There are 8 billion people in the world. You won't run out of people to make new friends with. So if you have someone that's draining your energy, hurting you, even if they're a relative, put some distance. Just say, for now, I need some space, and make a new friend. And there's not much you can do about relatives, but what I found, I couldn't be near my relatives. I had very challenging childhood. And we won't go into the whole story of what they did when I was an adult. It was pretty bad. So I didn't talk to them for 5 years. But during that time, I worked on myself. And then my power animals came to me and says, now you need to contact your parents. And well, I did. And guess what? Everything had changed. When you change yourself, it changes everyone around you. They are a reflection of you and what you're giving off. So when you integrate your energy and you get rid of people who are sucking your energy, even if it means a family member that you just don't talk to for a while, and you work on yourself, later on you can be around them and they can't suck your energy. It just doesn't happen anymore. It's pretty amazing. It's like a miracle. I call it miracles. Okay, some other tools you can use are crystals. One is black tourmaline. So I got this tourmaline actually in Nepal when I was there. I got a whole bunch of them. And so, but you can get it all over the place. I even have a really nice amethyst necklace with a really long piece of tourmaline, and I wear that when I have to dress up. So tourmaline is your friend. But so is any black stone. So like this is black quartz crystal. I'm showing them in my little box over here because it's a pain to do a stop and then reshare because I don't know if you're actually seeing everything. So I hope you can see me holding up. So then there's also a gabbro. So that's this guy here. And you'll see different names. I've seen it called indigo. I've seen it called pink. I've seen it called purple. The person I bought this from called it purple gabbro. And when you look at it, it's kind of more like an indigo. It's very, very dark, almost black looking. And the nice thing about gabbro is it almost never needs to be cleaned. It cleans itself. It balances all your chakras. So this is a really nice ally. Shungite, this pyramid is a shungite pyramid. So it's all shungite in there. It's very dark. Let me see if I can hold it up close. There you go. So that's shungite, that black stone. And I added selenite. Now, selenite is white, but it also, like gabbro, will clean your aura, balance your chakras, and it really needs to be cleaned. It's very, very powerful. So even though it's not black, it's really good for cleaning up your aura. And then, of course, there's sound healing with Solfeggio frequencies. I suggest 528 hertz. It boosts the immune system and repairs DNA. Okay, so, little typo there with coming. So resilience is not just bouncing back, it's evolving with grace. Strengthen your vessel now to carry the light. So if you strengthen yourself now, you use some of the tools, the elderberry syrup or whatever float your boat, whatever you happen to like at the first symptom, or even if you think, well, I don't feel sick at all, but I'm just going to have some elderberry tea or something. Keep yourself strong because then you can carry more light. And when you carry more light, you get code activation and you get downloads. And with the coming solstice, I think it's the 21st of December, when we switch from Sagittarius into Capricorn, that's a great day for downloads because it's an opening of a portal. That's why a lot of people celebrate particularly the winter and spring solstices. They're very, very powerful times. So you want to be healthy and filled with as much light as you can. Okay, so ADBO.com will be changing dramatically. It was going to change in January, but I only have a few more things to change and it'll be ready. So when that happens, instead of having these long podcasts, I'm just going to have a short. I think YouTube is turning into TikTok replacement. So I'm just going to have a short. And if you want the whole long talk, it will be for members only. So I'm going to have a membership subscription. So my target is mid-December. So either next week or the week after, the membership will start. And it's got all kinds of benefits, free downloads, all kinds of stuff monthly. And you'll find out about that when I announce it. And it's going to be pretty cool and inexpensive. And those people that are interested in what do I do for dealing with the nervous system or on my chart, I'm going to have very inexpensive, quick readings, quick questions, and discounts on all my training, discounts on everything. I like to give discounts. And then, of course, you'll have the free Om for Success program will continue. But it will be it's already completely recorded. And by the end of December, I will have redone the master program. So the master program will also be available for a very small charge. I think it's like $11, but it's a complete redo. We're doing it once a week. We did 3 weeks. So instead of 7 weeks, it's now 6 because I combined week 1 and 2. And all the slides are redone. They're not PowerPoint any longer. They're Canva slides. So they're very nice. It's very professionally done. And that class is ongoing right now, and it will be available, just the master program for subscribers. Okay, so that's what's coming. Coming in January. I need to fix that. Looks like it's going to come in December, And if you want to know more about medical astrology, you can go to DB Medical Astrology. More about me is at Dr. Beverly Lawrence. And if you want to go to my app, you can go to Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy and click on the app tab, and it'll tell you how to. The app is free. I don't charge you anything. There's no in-app costs. There are things, if you don't have a login ID that you can see, and when you create a login ID, more content becomes available to you. But it's free, okay? Things that charge money are outside of the app, but I deliver them in the app. So that was my talk. Let's do a stop share. There we are. Hello, everyone. So I look forward to this new membership and giving you lots more free stuff. You know me, I like to give stuff free. And so when it goes live, I will show you everything that you get, because ADBO.com is being completely redone. My ADBO consulting, I'll take that website and it'll be still there, but it'll be under a different directory. So I still sometimes help people with technology, because most people who do us holistic stuff are not tech savvy, and I'm a total geek. I spent 30 years in Silicon Valley, so I still help people, but I usually don't charge them. So I still have that website, but I'm going to repurpose it so that it's one place you can go instead of to all these different websites. You go to one place and you can see everything I do, how to get your discounts, how to get your membership. It'll all be in one place at adbo.com. Okay, so thank you for joining us, and I look forward to reading your comments. And if you could like, subscribe, and share, it helps the channel grow. And thank you for being here. And remember to be the light you want to see in the world.